today is a wonderful new day to give glory to Jesus. And I'm here with Tiia, who's going to tell her story about how Jesus has been good to her, I guess. Has Jesus been good to you, Tiia?
He has been good to me. He has taken me onto this incredible ride through so many things and places that I never could have imagined.
Wow. Where do you want to start? I'm eager to hear.
Right. Well, we are going to go pretty far back in time to a small town in Finland where I was born.
Mm-hmm.
And I was born I grew up in a broken family before there really was such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
At least when I grew up, everyone I knew had two parents and siblings. And I always felt like an oddball because I lived with my grandmother.
Okay.
My parents had already separated before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
My mother went to work, and so I lived with her mother my first 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, I lived with my aunt, and then finally with my mother, and that never really worked out. So I grew up with different women.
Fast.
And my early childhood, what I remember from it, unfortunately, the more prevalent feelings are being confused and scared. I was a little scared of my grandmother. She was very strict and, well, she was tired. I understand that.
Yes. And still, she was the one who's supposed to be the parent figure.
Right.
Oh, wow. And then must have made you quite lonely.
I was lonely, and she did also isolate me from other children. I basically I only played with my cousins until I went to school.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did you have any brothers or sisters?
So I have an older brother who lived with the other set of grandparents, and I did not meet him.
Oh, really?
Also have some half siblings that one of them I met later in life. So yeah, it was a very broken picture.
Yes, and I mean, coming from the same part of the world, I understand that at this time this was different. It was not the usual,
right?
At this time,
it's not what it's now. So, the best I can think of, it was probably not a good match with me and my grandmother. I was a very shy and compliant child, eager to please. I would have done so well. I would have just thrived with some love and gentleness.
Yes.
But she didn't really have that. She didn't have physical affection. She easily punished me for things I didn't even know what I had done. So I always felt like I was in the way. I was in trouble. And also with the family situation, when I went to school, I was bullied, and I've always felt shame, just this unexplainable shame, just for being different.
Yes. Oh, I feel sorry for this little version of you.
Yeah, I do too, because I was lovely.
Yes, I can imagine that. And just trying to please and fit in and not being able to do so.
Right,
Yes, yeah.
right. But then, unfortunately, my grandmother got cancer when I was 8, and she died in 3 months. So it was very fast. So I was just uprooted. Just like that one afternoon, I saw my mother, who hopped out of a taxi when I was with my friends, and I was like, what is this woman doing here? 'Cause
Yes.
I saw her maybe once a year. So
Only.
And she just told me to get in the taxi with her, which I eventually complied because she was so angry.
Oh, wow.
And she took me away, and I never saw that place and my old friends again.
Oh, that must have been so traumatic.
It was. It was.
Yes.
And I started in a new school. I was with my aunt, with my mother's sister, who we became very, very close, especially later in life. She really was my family, my whole family. But at this time, I started in a new school, and unfortunately, I got a teacher who was completely in the wrong job.
Oh.
And she picked me out of everyone, and she had me stand up many times in front of the class, and she was yelling at me and picking at me and asking about my family situation and wondering out loud with the class, and why would you not be with your mother, you know? And
really? Oh,
it was
terrible.
horrible.
And what did that do with your, self-esteem? And it must have really affected you at that young
My
age.
self-esteem was 0 or on the minus side.
Yes, I can imagine that.
Right. And that really has brought me on a lifelong journey for looking for meaning, looking for purpose, looking for belonging. Because I always felt like I didn't belong. I was not really in anybody's team, you know?
People took care of you, but you didn't really belong
No,
there.
I never felt like I belonged.
Did you feel that you were loved? Or
I didn't have time to think about such a thing.
No. You were busy, just fitting in. Or...
Only when I saw some glimpses of what other children were getting, then I realized I was missing out. I was not hugged, I was not kissed, and my heart was yearning for all those things.
Yes, of course.
So I lived with my aunt for 3 years, and then my mother decided to come back in town, and we lived together.
Did your mother struggle with things? Was that, or what was the reason she was not able to take care of you?
She was living in Helsinki and working, so she didn't feel like she could take care of me. So at that point, when I think I was 11, she came, and but she never really knew how to be a mother.
No.
And there was a lot of neglect. Again, I was made feeling like I was a burden. And later on, when I was a teenager, when we moved to another town, there were just a lot of physical fighting and yelling and ugly words both ways. And it was just a very bad situation. And
I can imagine you having a lot of, probably pushed down anger and resentment.
I had so much anger.
Yes.
I had so much anger at that point.
Yes.
And I was really acting out. I started drinking early and partying every weekend, and there was nothing she could do about that. Not that she tried much.
No.
But
in any of those early years when you moved from place to place and with different, were there any? Were Jesus in? Were they believers, or what kind of family?
So this was a typical Finnish Lutheran nominal family with infant baptism, with confirmation when you're 15, with going to church at Christmas.
Yes, and not very much of Jesus in between.
No. Well, and with my grandmother, I did go to children's Sunday school, collected the little lamb stickers with the Jesus picture.
Yes.
So it was to that extent.
Okay, yes.
Right.
More a cultural thing, probably.
More cultural. I do remember being with my grandmother in some mission conference one time, so I do have a memory from that. But yes, I always believed in God, but I didn't really know what that meant.
That's a gift in the midst of all of that you had, faith in God.
Right.
And also coming from those, these countries.
Right,
yes.
right. So there are some defining moments in my life that I'm now looking back to, thinking how they steered me a certain way and also helped me learn about myself. Growing up, I never heard anything good about myself.
Wow.
So it was kind of like I always felt like I'm dangling in the air, my feet are not touching the ground, and I don't know who I am, and is there anything good in me?
Wow.
And I really was very insecure. I felt like I have to work so much harder to be worth, even close to worth what others are.
Yes, you had to prove your worth, while others just were giving it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So I knew after the mandatory 9 grades that my mother wouldn't pay for any education for me. So I went to work and I worked. We had this big sub factory in town,
Yes.
and I started as an errand girl. And that was my first job. And over the years, I would get promotions and promotions, and so on. I got more training and more promotions. So I ended up being there quite a few years. But when I was 17, I had a feeling my mother was going to kick me out. And I was like, I'm going to make the first move. And I was able to get myself a place, a studio. I went to a bank and I got myself a loan because I had a job.
Yes.
And I bought myself furniture and I moved out without anybody's help.
Wow, you were quite independent, or maybe you had to become. Yes. Sometimes you don't have a choice.
Right.
Yes.
And I didn't. So I had my own place.
Yes.
And you can probably imagine what a party it was. At first and for quite some time. But I worked hard and I was responsible. I had to stretch the penny every day. I didn't make much money at all.
Yes.
And but then I drifted into this really bad relationship, and which lasted many years. And eventually we were planning on getting engaged and married, and we had already talked to our families about, engagement party and all that. And then I don't know how it came to me, but it was almost a certain particular moment when I just had this intuition or this knowledge that this is not going to change anything. Getting engaged to this person, marrying him, it's not going to change him.
No.
He is still going to be insecure, jealous. He's still going to be cheating on me. He's still going to be beating on me.
Oh, wow.
And so I said, cancel.
Wow. And that must have been God, looking back.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Right.
Who saved you from getting deeper into that.
Exactly.
That would have been hurtful for you.
Right.
Wow.
So that's another defining moment, for sure.
It's amazing. I mean, you were not walking close to Jesus at that time, but when you look back, you can see that he still kept his, protecting hand over your life. And I think that is so beautiful.
Right. And in this next part of my life, he really started steering me. And then he eventually cornered me.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
So I had this job, and I had also been invited to some pageants, and I had started dabbling with some modeling and so on. And it led me all the way to Miss Finland contest, where I was in the final.
Wow!
So I had been given opportunities like that, and of course wanted to pursue that. But of course I was finding out that that's not where I belong either.
No.
I wasn't hard enough. I wasn't confident enough. I wasn't haughty enough or arrogant enough. Because I felt like that's how you needed to be. That's everyone that I saw.
It's not a healthy environment, is it?
No, it's not. It
looks glamorous, but it probably isn't.
I was way too soft.
Oh, well.
For that.
Good for you.
So, but I was getting antsy and bored with my life. And I decided now it's time to pursue more education. And maybe moving to one of these big cities, I can also pursue some more modeling opportunities. So I applied to a couple of schools, and my top choice was to study languages, because I had taken several and they were easy to me. That was my gift thing.
Wow.
And but they didn't accept me, and I was disappointed. So I took my second choice and packed up my stuff and moved to Helsinki,
the capital.
Right. And it was kind of at that point when they called me. It was too far in the process when the first school called me and said, "Oh, we made a mistake. We should have accepted you." You know, and I said, "Well, sorry, it's too late now."
Yes.
But that was gone.
Okay.
And when they had this interesting thing, they had these two main courses. It's a college level school, but it's just a year course, and you live there.
Okay.
And you study. It is just like college, but you know, in Finland we have so many different
Yes.
opportunities, so it's kind of hard to compare it to something. But and they assigned roommates with the course that you are in, not
Okay.
with the other course. But when I first walked in with all my things to register, there was this girl just kind of hanging out and waiting. And I thought I recognized her, and I smiled at her until I realized that's not her.
Ah, okay.
But she ended up being my roommate. And she was from the other course.
Okay.
And we could not have been any more different. I mean, the polar opposites.
Wow. Was it tension in the room then? Or you managed to figure out a way living
It was an
together?
interesting first night.
Yeah.
Because she was with one of these, in a certain area in Finland are these extremely conservative Lutheran sects.
Oh,
Okay.
Yes.
And
So she came from there.
yes. And then I was this worldly,
Party girl.
right.
Yes.
It was a crazy match.
Wow.
And later she told me that when she first came, she had refused to be assigned a roommate. She was like, "I'm going to wait here, you know, and see, you know, who I want."
Ah, okay.
And then she told me later, and I was just there, and then you came in, and you had this beautiful smile. I was like, "Oh, I want the room with her."
That's beautiful.
Right. So we became roommates, and even though it seemed so crazy, we were from different worlds. She made friends with this other girl who was a Christian from charismatic background.
Okay, yes.
And they were unlikely friends too, but it was just impossible not to like this other girl. So, you know, those were the first Christians that I ever really knew. And we did our separate things for most of the year, but we became closer.
That's wonderful.
And it was in the spring, and of course I remember this date and everything, because this was like a night and day
Wow.
kind of thing, you know, when I turned to the Lord. So we had planned on actually spending a weekend together, go to a movie, and then go get something to eat, go to this her friend's place who did not room in the school, but you know,
the
outside.
charismatic girl.
Right, charismatic girl. And so we had our plans, and I was fine with them. You know, my boyfriend was out of town and all that, so you know, good. You know, I'm game. Yeah. And but then that Saturday morning, I still remember this so vividly. You know, many people don't know anything about these times, but there was this payphone.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
in
I
the
remember.
downstairs
I
in the
remember
dorm. And she called, and there always had to be one person, you know, we had turns.
Oh,
you know,
watching the phone.
watching the phone and getting the people, you know, who are getting calls. So anyway, I got this call from her, the charismatic girl, and they had been plotting, you know, behind my back, you know. She had asked my roommate first, and now it was my turn. She said, you know, there is this really well-known evangelist at my church, and I would really like to go Saturday evening. Saturday evening, church?
Not your kind of fun.
No. And I hesitated, and for some reason I could not say no. And I said, okay, fine. Probably not like that, but that's how I felt.
Yeah. I'm not excited, but I'm coming.
Right. And wouldn't you know, that night changed my life.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right. So, and I still remember going there. This was a large modern church. And I remember walking on the aisle. I was horrified because the place was full and we had to go sit kind of in the front. And I still remember thinking, you know, those people are probably staring at me and thinking, there goes the sinner.
It's funny that you can remember that.
Yeah, I do, because it was such a strong feeling. Just like strong dislike, this is not my place and I shouldn't be here.
And the interesting thing, now that you're on the other side, if someone walks in, we're not thinking like that. Oh, there goes the sin.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, but I was very convicted, obviously.
Yes.
And then at the end, there was this altar call, and people were just going up there, and it was full. And I was just still kind of waiting. I can't really explain this in any other way, but God cornered me, you know?
Yes.
It was my time. He has said, Tiia, you go there tonight, and I'm going to save you. And then I'm going to show you where I'm going to take you after that.
Wow.
So...
and you just knew. Because you didn't hear it in your ears. So this was something you just experienced. You just knew that God called you.
So they said after the people were at the altar, they were saying, the pastor was saying, all right, you know, it's full here, but we do not want anyone to leave here tonight unless you know Jesus.
Yes.
And unless you know that you know Jesus. So we will come to you, you know, just raise your hand. And then my Lutheran friend raised her hand. I was like, wow. And then, I'm not kidding, my hand
by itself.
By itself. I was like, what are you doing?
Wow, that's beautiful.
And then one of the pastors came and prayed. And I remember talking, and I don't really remember all that we talked, but I remember him praying for me, and I went with it.
Wow.
And I didn't feel anything in that moment, yet it changed everything.
Wow, that's amazing.
This is how it changed everything. This is how I know, because we went to my charismatic friend's place, and we had dinner, and we all slept in their big bed, and we prayed together. I prayed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it one of the first times you can remember praying?
Wow. Yeah. And then next day was Sunday. We went back to church, and I was looking forward to it. How
life-changing. Wow.
And then even after that service, when my roommate and I were going back to school, I was thinking to myself, okay, here is the real test.
Yeah.
You know, has anything really changed? I mean, how is it going to be like from this on? And there was an answer to that immediately when we went in and we were met by some girls. There was an older student that was very different from everyone else, and everyone was always making fun of her. Excuse me, him. It was
okay, yes.
And these girls, you know, came to us and, oh, have you heard the latest stuff?
Yeah.
You know, this poor guy.
Yes.
And then they proceeded to, you know, tell the story. And I didn't feel like laughing.
Oh.
I was like, oh, that is different. There's
changed.
a different spirit in me.
Wow.
Wow.
That's beautiful. Oh, I love hearing this. This is wonderful.
And after that, I knew my life had changed. And I told everyone, and I wrote to all my family members, and I just told everyone I could see, you know, how my life had changed. And there were kind of mixed reactions, but everyone could agree on one thing, that I had changed. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was
and
the
there
most life-dividing moment.
I can imagine. There began a new life, a new journey.
Right.
Wow.
And I started learning about God's family, you know, and belonging to God's family. And of course, I had all my insecurities, but this really opened a whole new world
There
for
was
me.
a place where you belonged.
Right, right. And I'll never forget the first experiences when meeting new people in unexpected places, people that you seemingly have nothing in common, but you have the same spirit, and you can just talk forever
Yes.
and just have so much in common.
Wow, that's beautiful.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So those were good times in many ways. There was a lot of growth, there were struggles, but I was very active in a church, in my church. I made so many wonderful friends. I was very active in ministry. God, I was learning that I'm a very creative person. And now that I think about it, I have always been very creative person. I don't need much to,
To do things.
Right, right. And we created this street drama group.
Wow.
We did street evangelism.
That's
And we had
wonderful.
pantomimes, and we
Yes.
did them in anywhere. We were invited to different churches. We did them in the city center, wherever.
Wow, that's
That
beautiful.
was so meaningful. That was so purposeful for me.
Yes, of course. And
Yeah.
sharing the gospel out on the
Right.
streets. Wow,
Right.
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
So there you were in Finland, evangelizing and
Right.
serving in churches.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I mean, what happened then? Because now we're sitting in Texas.
Right. So I started getting interested in missions.
Okay, yes.
And then I heard about this summer mission in France. And, I was still living hand to mouth, working during the day and going to school in the evening and working very hard. And for somewhere I got some money, maybe tax return or something. I saved it so I can pay for this mission
Oh, wow.
trip. But then I had another dilemma. I would have to take a month off. And I didn't know how to pay my bills.
No.
But that's when I put God to test. I was like, you say if I give to you, you will pay me back. So,
Beautiful.
that was that. And I went to France. But before that, there was this training conference in Belgium, this big tent city. And I saw this guy there who kept popping up everywhere. And we were, you met so many people
Yes.
during that week and just talked to people from all over. But this guy just kept popping up in the weirdest places. And we would talk. And only later, did I learn that was all intentional. Stalking me. So,
You thought it was just random.
no, yeah, exactly. And the last night he got the nerve to ask for my information, my address and phone number, because he was from the U.S. and he was on his way. First, the summer mission was in Eastern Europe, and then he was on his way to Pakistan for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
To work with this solar oven project with Afghan refugees.
Wow.
And I gave him my number, and he said I might get a chance to come to Finland. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll show that guy some sights, and he'll go back, and he came. He had some time between his assignments. And he came to Finland for a few days, and there was this weird electricity right off the start, and he ended up staying as long as he could, I don't know. Poor guy, he had to stay in youth hostels, and I was working all day and going to school at night. I had this little sliver of time for him. Late in the evening, he really persisted.
He took he passed the test.
Yeah, especially when they, from a hostel, they kick you out in the morning.
Oh, really?
You
So
just
you
kind
had
of
to walk around
he
the
loitered
streets.
around the town all day.
But then it will last.
Right.
If you go through that.
Right. And we kind of knew this was it
Yeah.
at the end.
That's beautiful.
But the problem was that he was going to Pakistan for 2 years. Well, first he was going to Cyprus for this training. So he wrote this glowing letter to his dad about me. And his dad was so taken because that was so unlike his son that he decided, well, we need to give him a chance to get to know each other more. You know what he did? He wanted to give me the chance to go visit him in Cyprus.
Oh,
He sent me money to go there.
wow.
I booked the trip.
Wow.
I went there.
And for you who had not have the support of a family, that must have meant extra much. Here's someone stepping out, for
Exactly. So that kind of solidified it, And after that, it was dating, which meant, for us, it meant writing a letter each week and calling once a month.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Distance
relationship was not the easiest, but
right. Back then, there were no video chats, there were no cell phones, and calling was very expensive. International calls were extremely expensive. So once a month.
Yes.
Right. And that went on for several months. And later on, I did go. We kind of both started, the Lord started talking to us that I should also go there. I had a chance to go to Pakistan. Wow. I purchased a one-way trip to Pakistan. I even remember
That sounds like a nightmare.
I was clueless. I remember the travel agent even saying, one-way trip to Pakistan, what's your mission? So I didn't know, but and I thought I was prepared, but of course I was not. I was just clueless. I was helping. I was helping at the office and so on. It was a very difficult environment.
Can imagine.
They were assisting Afghan refugees, and he was doing a solar oven project, and I was just done some office help. But the organization also had very, very strict rules about for the staff.
Oh, okay.
We got to see each other like one evening a week. I went to Pakistan to see him one evening a week.
Now it was you loitering
right?
around.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
And then... So I went there in September. Then the word came that my husband's, he wasn't my husband then, my boyfriend's brother was getting married. And so we were both invited to go to Texas for almost the whole month. I think it was the whole of December. So there I went. From Pakistan to Texas.
And you've never been in the States before?
No. So I stayed as a guest of his parents for the month. And yet another whole different world was opened to me. And during this time also he proposed and gave me this ring.
Oh, beautiful.
And so we got engaged. And the next summer we got married. Now, so the story I tell, sometimes I find it fun to tell this nutshell story. When someone asks me, how did you meet your husband? I said, okay, our first date was in Belgium, our second date was in Finland, our third date was in Cyprus, our fourth date was in Pakistan, and then we got engaged in Texas and married in Finland.
Oh. You are a very international couple.
Right.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Right. So that's how I ended up here. And I must say, as much as I felt that God put us together, I also felt that I took this too lightly, this move here. I did not really realize what a huge thing it was,
Yes.
To leave everything you have. Permanently, and to get used to such a different culture.
Yes.
And be a part of a very different family with very different dynamics.
Yes, I can.
And their own quirks and their own cultural differences. And to be theirs all the time. There's no going back to my aunt. Hey, I'm gonna hang out and chat with you for a while. And
That's right.
no,
You didn't have a network of your own here. You were
Correct.
completely in theirs.
completely in
Yes.
theirs. You know, Christmas, Easter, birthday, Mother's Day, it was all
Oh,
theirs.
yes.
You know, so yeah, it only came to me then. Wow, what have I done? you know, you know.
Yes.
But
And even
I-
the climate and everything is very
the
different.
climate, goodness, I really don't think Texas is inhabitable in July and
We're not
August.
supposed to be here.
Yeah.
But God helped you through all of that. I mean, it must
Right.
have been seasons of adjustment for you.
It was, and I must say, I've had like 3 careers here,
Mm-hmm.
and the first one, this was my father-in-law's idea to apply. I got a job as an international flight attendant with American Airlines.
Wow.
And yeah, wouldn't you know, my first route that I flew for several years was from Chicago to Stockholm.
Oh, really? What a wonderful route.
Right. So it didn't take me quite home, but it really helped me in homesickness. I could go and buy, the foods.
How sweet of the Lord.
I know.
God is so kind.
I knew it that.
That's beautiful.
I bought the foods. I even was able to watch some Finnish TV in my hotel room.
Yes.
So it did help, and it was a little cheaper for people to call there, just to Stockholm than to Texas.
That's so sweet.
Right.
It sounds like, in those tiny details, I mean, you didn't really have parents looking out for you, but you had the father looking out for you. I mean, those are the things that a
Right.
parent would do for their child.
right.
She needs this.
Oh, right.
That is so sweet.
He did something else too that really, there was this prophecy that came, I don't know, sometime after I became a Christian. This girl said to me, she told me several things, but one of the things was that the Lord says, I'm going to send you over the waters. Wow. And I couldn't fathom what that was. I was like, okay. I was like, I wonder what that means. Is it America? It can't be America. I have no plans on going to America. And I just kind of remembered it later, and it made sense, and it helped me during hard moments to think that the Lord said that.
Yes, that God is with you in this. Yes.
Right.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, He prepared you.
Right. So I worked hard at the airline job, and it also enabled me to go to school. And I got 2 degrees, and was finding myself through that, just discovering my compassion and desire, to help others. I've always done volunteer work, but I wanted to do that for a living. So I got my bachelor's and master's in social work. And then I did that for a while. I worked mostly with foster care, doing in various capacity.
That's wonderful.
Until I just burned out. My last job was just too much. It was extremely exhausting. I was solving emergencies at all times, and I had my own children. By then, I had a son and daughter. And that was another defining moment to become a mother, because I just, children are just an amazing gift.
Yes.
Amazing gift.
Yes, they are. They are amazing.
Bringing tears to my eyes.
Oh, but that's good. That's beautiful. And for you, who didn't really have a role model of,
Right.
You maybe you knew what you would have needed, but here you stepping in and becoming a mother for these vulnerable little ones.
Exactly. Well, I allowed it from the first moment. I was probably pretty clueless, especially during my son's infanthood, but I mean, I did not lack in love.
No.
One bit.
Oh, that's beautiful. And that compensates for everything else. It does.
Right. Yeah, I'm very grateful about being a mother, and I have loved them so much and continue to do those.
Yes.
They are adults now, but the relationship just changes, but it's just as wonderful.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So-
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And to be able to provide for your children what you didn't have yourself.
Right. And I didn't think about it that way. At times I'm very aware of it. I'm giving what I didn't get, but it just comes naturally.
Yes.
You know, when you know the Lord, you have what to give,
Yes.
you know?
Your love is not,
Yeah.
the love is not limited by your love, but you have an endless source of
Right.
God's love flowing through you. That's
Right.
beautiful.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful. So, but I understand you worked hard in providing care for these vulnerable children in your work.
Right.
You became pushed to a limit. Okay.
Exactly. And I did not want to continue doing that at the expense of my family.
No.
So I quit that job. I stayed home a little bit until the Lord opened another door. And I really have learned that we don't even have to apply jobs. You know, they fall on your lap. You know, God will open that door
Wow.
when it's there. At first, he started developing the teaching capacity in me. He gave me a gift of teaching.
Beautiful.
And at first, it was just through volunteer experiences. I was asked to teach at the local Finnish school. And then we got opportunities to do family mission trips to Canada in the the native territory.
Wow.
In way north, Quebec, East Maine.
Wow.
And that was just all God too.
Wow.
Different people joined us every summer,
That's beautiful.
and a local pastor and his family joined us. And we did vacation Bible school in the morning and sports camp in the afternoon.
For
and
children?
Adults meeting in the evening. Yeah, all for children. Right.
But I mean, that is also, you had been working with mission, and you have been working with travel, and you had been working with children, and now God brought all of that together.
Right.
So-
Yeah, it started with children
Yes.
and teaching. And
That's amazing.
I discovered that I can teach, and they listen and they enjoy. And I again discovered I have lots of creativity,
That's so
and I can
amazing.
bring fun
Yes.
to it, you know?
Wow.
So it's more self-discovery.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Right. And then later on, of course, there's teaching component in social work when you work with people.
Yes.
But later on, I got the opportunity to work with adults as adult education teacher. So I taught different things, English as second language, some high school equivalency, some career skills, citizenship skills,
Wow.
so on. And I loved that job. I ended up doing that, was part-time for 14 years.
Wow.
And that was, again, from God. I would never have imagined myself doing that.
God has really
So-
given you an exciting and rich life.
Right?
Yes.
Right.
And taking you
Yeah.
on a journey to discover who you are and which
Right.
gifts He has given you.
Yes.
To been able to give you opportunities to use those gifts.
Right.
So that's beautiful.
I still need to talk about one important thing.
Yes.
This is kind of his mission statement to me. And years ago, this was probably, I'm thinking based on my daughter's age, this was probably 25 or so years ago. I was in a church where they started this new program called Celebrate Recovery.
Okay.
And they started that ministry from scratch. So they were looking for people who were interested. And I was interested, through my training and so on. And so we did training and we started classes. And I really enjoyed that. And it brought things on a deeper level because I am, and this is what I have also learned about myself, and I totally accept it and embrace it now. that I am always trying to pull things under the surface. You know, I'm not happy with surface level
No,
things.
you want to go deeper.
And there was way too much surface level stuff
Yeah.
in America and in churches. And that was part of the not belonging.
Oh, yeah.
I felt
It
like
bothered
I
you,
was
yes.
too deep.
Yes.
But doing that ministry, I could be as deep as I wanted.
Yes, and then for those who don't know, Celebrate Recovery people with addictions and
Right. Yes, and it's more than that. They say it's for hurts, hang-ups, and habits. So it
Okay,
really
good.
covers life.
Yes, and then you
Right.
have to go deep to get
Right,
the root of
right.
that.
It
Yeah.
covers all those patterns that,
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
good.
are not working for you.
Wow.
You know,
Yes,
if you want to change.
Mm.
And I was really getting into that. And I remember God doesn't often speak to me in an audible voice, but this was one of those times when I heard the words, and I was driving in Fort Worth on Airport Freeway. I was thinking about Celebrate Recovery, and I heard these words, and I knew exactly what they meant. You know, he said, "You belong with broken people." And that was not God putting me down and saying, "You're broken." That was a call to ministry.
Wow, that's
And
beautiful.
I knew it right away, and it was very emotional to me
Yes.
to hear
Wow.
that.
Yes, of course.
And then that, you know, gave me again direction where they go.
But that's a
Yeah.
beautiful. I mean, considering who Jesus hang out with, you know, the friend of sinners,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
you're in very
I'm in good company.
You're in good company.
I'm in good company.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love to hear that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And there you have stayed. Since, I mean, I can
I
see
have
you
stayed.
served here among people who are
I
broken
have
as
stayed. I served in that church. We stayed in another church a little bit before Capstone, and I did a round of Celebrate Recovery there with ladies. And I've been doing it here. And I also serve, I do a ladies small group here, monthly group. And I so enjoy the variety and of wonderful ladies that are there. And me, having always searched for belonging, I have found it. And it's always important to me that everyone can belong. You know?
Yes.
That I'm
Yes.
always hoping that they feel the sense of belonging.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And isn't it amazing how God can use, I mean, those negative experiences we have, the experience of not belonging,
Right.
makes you extra aware of, you know, seeing people and meeting those needs. And that
Right.
is, you know, that is a great way of taking revenge of our, you know, past. Revenge is a hard word. but,
Right.
You don't treat people the same way you were treated, but you change it and you use that
Right.
negative experience as something that can
Right.
prompt you into doing things differently. That's beautiful.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
redemption.
It is.
isn't
God
it?
does not waste a hurt, like
No,
they say.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Exactly. That's
Yeah.
Oh, that's redemptive. That's beautiful.
Right.
I'm so happy to hear all these stories of God's faithfulness. Oh, how God took this broken little lonely child and how he made your life rich.
Yes.
And he made you who did not belong. He
Right.
found a space and a family and a place for you.
That's right. Amen. That's what he does.
That's what he does. Praise God. Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, you're so welcome. I was glad to.